we will move on into item number 9, financial report. Sarah and Mr. Cox.
Hey, good afternoon. My name's Charlie, or remember me from Weeks Brown Williams. We have budget amendments from time to time throughout the year to keep the budget in line with the estimated budget that was originally adopted. If you want to look at the general fund first, does everybody have that in front of you? The first line item, actually references number 2, is $50,000 of fund balance was appropriated for the engineering on the Commerce Park expansion. So that corresponds below. The second line item in the original budget, the incubator project, the EDA grant proceeds were not originally in that budget. Did not know they were going to receive those proceeds. So that's $1.6 million there. And that corresponds to the capital outlay, the building purchase, $496,500. That's the $493 plus some surveying costs that are in capital outlay. And the rest, for the time being, we show as grant expenses for incubator. And finally, the EDA grant proceeds for Corridor Group Phase 2 of $500,000. That EDA grant was never submitted, so we just decreased that by $500,000. And those are the current budget amendments to get your original fiscal year 14 budget in line with what the board has currently approved from the action.
So once again, just to clarify, all of these items have been, action has already been taken by the board. You're just basically asking us to approve this document with all of the action items included.
Yes, ma'am. This is based on board action. We're just getting the original budget in line with, throughout the year with what it is now currently.
Anything else on these, on this document?
Not on the general fund. We also have some over in the Mosaic Special Revenue Fund.
So are we approving things all at once, or can we go ahead and move forward with approval of this document?
I believe you've approved the general Mosaic Fund separately in the past.
Okay. So we do need to approve this document, though, for keeping everything updated with our budget. So we will open for a motion.
So moved.
I'm sorry, who made the second, Jim? Any discussion from board members? Any discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Go ahead.
The second budget amendments deal with the Mosaic Special Revenue Fund. The first line item was an additional allocation to IDA marketing. There was an expense we reclassed in fiscal year 13, which resulted in $2,500 more of the original appropriation available this year in fiscal year 14. So the $2,500 increase corresponds with the grant expenses below. On Continuum, we decreased the current fiscal year 14 budget, $300,800. That dealt with the cash to accrual when we accrued the October draw back into September. We decreased the budgeted appropriations this year because we had already used them in fiscal year 13. And that's the same for the broadband. The $127,878, we decreased the current year budget because that budget was used in the prior fiscal year.
Charlie, can you back up for just a moment? You said a different figure than what we have listed. So for the
I'm sorry, you should have had a handout from that number change from
okay,
the
I
original
apologize.
budget
I don't have that dated. I do now. Thank you. So the correct amount is the $300,800.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just look
which I may have in this ginormous stack of papers, so thank you, go ahead.
And that's really it, unless, if there's any questions or anything, I'd be happy to take.
Any questions from board members? So, is this, we need to accept this to bring all of our budget amendments in line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll open for a motion to approve these budget amendments. Again, these are all items the board has already made motion on previously. This just adopts them into our budget.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board? Any public comment?
I just have one real quick one. Where did that money, that the little discrepancy you talked about or change, where did it actually go to?
It was just a rounding issue. It was just the number was wrong originally, and then we
So
corrected it.
the money didn't go to any
No, sir.
vendor?
No,
Okay.
it was just a mistake on the
I'm
original
sorry,
budget.
I wasn't clear.
Okay.
Any further public comment? If not, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you. Okay.
Okay, you turn to page 53, we'll start with the EDC financials, that's the balance sheet. As of December 31st, total checking and savings was $10,147.57. Current liabilities are listed as $10,476.64, bringing the total liabilities in equity to $11,037.57. If you go to page 54, that's our profit and loss. It was a fairly normal month this past month in December. There weren't any out of the ordinary charges. If you want to scan down through the categories, you can see that they kind of fall in line with previous months. We did have an income brought in of $13,489. That was money that we transferred from the administrative funds that we are allowed to take from the Mosaic funds each cycle that we receive them into our account. The only reason we did that this time is because between our disbursement from the EDA for our next drawdown and what we needed to pay out, we needed to transfer some money in until we received that check from the EDA this month, or this past month. So we did make that transfer. Total expenses for the month were $22,638.96. And then past that is our general ledger and the paycheck detail. If you have any questions on any of that, I will answer them before we take a vote on the EDC side.
I do.
Yes.
Page 59.
Yes.
There's 12.2, a check for a cut above, 12.30, a check for a cut above, and 12.3, a check for a cut above lawn care. What is it that they mowed 3 times?
What page is that?
What
Not
page?
59.
Page 50, 59 by mine. Just a general ledger.
That's a payroll summary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me look.
Well, it's got 59 on
I'm
mine.
looking at it, I'm looking.
Look at the bottom, right there. Yeah, page 59. It's not on the bottom, it's on the side.
Yeah.
Not on that page, you're on the wrong page. You're on the second
Yeah,
page.
so where is he looking?
This must be
And
another
that's as of-
59.
That's.
I think you're over in the IDA financials, might be one reason.
So it's Hardy County Industrial Development Authority, general
Yes.
ledger.
We're on EDC right now.
Oh, we're still on EDC?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought we was on IDA. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Would you like to make a motion to go ahead and accept the EDC financials?
I'll do it.
So we can move to the
I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, I will.
Okay, so we have a motion from Dahl to accept the EDC financials. Do we have a second?
I'm ready to go.
Diane? Any other questions or comments from board members? Any public comment? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, we'll move on with the IDA, thank you.
Okay, if you move over to page 65, that will bring you to the IDA balance sheet as of December 31st. And as of December 31st, our total checking and savings amounted to $3,223,189.22. Our total liabilities and equity were $3,991,853.22. If you continue moving to the next page, that takes you to the first page of the profit and loss by class. Again, this is a little bit different. We started this last month where we started actually breaking out each category into a different class and showing all of those for you to actually see. So you get a little bit more detail than you were getting in the past. Mainly normal expenses. The only large expense that was incurred that was out of the ordinary was obviously the purchase of the Mid-Florida Hardware Building. And we show that expense coming out of the incubator category. Second to last from the bottom for the 471, 390, 61. And that number includes the purchase of the building and then some other expenses related to the incubator building itself. Does anybody have any questions on that particular page? If not, we'll move over to the following page. And again, those are profit and loss by class. If anyone has any particular questions on a particular disbursement, I can answer that. And then the next page of your profit and loss by class, you will notice under the administrative special revenue, that is where we're showing the transfer to the EDC of the $13,489 that was transferred from the Mosaic Administrative Fund. Now, if you'll turn on over to page 70, that will show you the actual profit and loss for the month of December. Our total income for that month was $13,402.20, mainly coming from our rental properties. And expenses were $928,158.80. And then now we'll move to the general ledger, and Mr. Samuels will take up your question.
All right, maybe I can get on the right track. Yeah, looks like we got 3 lawn mowing payments for that month, and I'm just curious, what did we mow 3 times?
Probably a check and a bill.
One was for irrigation repairs that were made out at the Tech River Building. You know, the county is out there doing some work on the right-of-way right now, and they did have to go in and take up the lines, irrigation lines that were there on the property. So we did have to make repairs to those. And then one was his regular mowing. Okay, so those are 2 checks. They're actually split out for 2 checks for repairs for the Tech River lines. And then the other one is for his regular mowing, so.
You mean there was probably the 2 small ones, about $1,500 to repair water lines or something? Is that what you're saying?
The 916 is his
That's
November
his normal.
invoice for his
Yeah.
normal.
For
mowing.
normal mowing?
Yes.
That's 916.
Okay,
The 604 was the irrigation repair out at Tech River.
And the $916 is not just for mowing of Tech River. I hear some chatter. So, the $916
probably
is
the whole
his,
part.
contract for the entire Commerce Park IDA landscape maintenance contract.
okay, well, I imagine the fixing of the water line thing is probably, is what's
It's
extra. in
extra,
there.
it is, so it's based on an hourly rate.
Okay.
When we do the contract,
Okay.
you know, we give, you know, them a set of bid specs, but then also ask them to provide an hourly rate for things, you know, that come up such as irrigation, you know, repairs that were unforeseen.
Right.
Or any other things that we might need to
Okay,
add.
on the same page, there's $11,250 for Clifton Larson Allen. What was that in respect to?
The audit.
That was for our audit that they are presenting to you.
Which audit now? The
The IDA.
EBO
The
office
IDA.
audit or the,
The IDA audit.
The IDA audit.
the one that's ongoing now or something?
The one that she came to you today.
Oh, okay, the draft thing. Okay,
Right.
okay. All right. Page 61 and 62.
So we're going backwards now?
Well, I'm going by these page numbers on the side of this thing. Yeah. At the very bottom, it's got a bill from Preco for $1,072, that page. Page 61 I got.
Page 73.
Well, mine says 61.
That's the regular bill that we pay every month for the utilities out at the Commerce Park. For the lights out at the Commerce Park and the sign.
Okay, on the next page, you got two bills from Preco. What are those? For $1,600 and $1,400.
That's your retirement.
I wish it was.
Okay.
On page 62 on my sheets,
74. 74.
on everybody else's. Well, see, there's, you got 60, 62 on Are we paying another bill other than the Preco bill?
No. If you look at 12/30/2013, the Preco bill for the 1436.60, that is Tech River's normal monthly bill.
Okay, and
The
what-
12/3/2013 for the 1659.39,
Right,
that was for the previous month. So it just happened to fall that two checks were written in 1 month. One was done at the beginning of the month for the previous, for November, one was written at the end of the month.
okay,
for December.
okay, I can accept that. I think I got one more. On page 63, on my page 63, there's a check there to the attorney that did the building settlement thing for $11,000, and I was just curious what that was for.
That's a deposit.
A deposit?
You're talking about- Which, you're on page 60?
63, my 63. I don't know what y'all's is.
75, okay.
But it's right under the $456,000 that
Says
we paid for the
additional
building.
wire.
It was an additional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was, when the original purchase price and documents were, sent over.
Fee.
The fee that was listed, the
Okay.
total, whoever drew up the documents put the wrong amount on there. This was over the holidays, it was actually Christmas Eve. We noticed the mistake, we had to come in and write a check for an additional $11,000 that actually made up the total of the $493. So it wasn't an additional amount, it was just that the closing documents had the wrong number on them.
Okay.
So,
All right.
that's why. And the transfer had already been made, so we
All
never
right.
write another check.
That's good. All right, good.
Okay, any other questions from the board? We will open for a motion to accept the IDA financials.
So move.
Second.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
What is the latest on Hardy Lakes? How are we there, Bill? Are we about to have everything done?
Let's take a quick vote and we're moving into that right next, okay? Any public comment on the financials? On the financials?
Yeah.
Mr.
We
Kirk-
can stay there in case, I'll just sit here and talk loud.
Mr. Kirkland, if you would step to the
Oh,
podium
okay.
for us, I'd appreciate that. Thank
I
you
was
very
just trying
much.
to be polite. My question is, one of my questions is, just for the record, just to clear up my noodle so I won't be blaming somebody with something that's not true. The amounts that you said that went to Continuum's electric bills or whatever, that is IDA's money above and beyond their grants, right? Their draw request. So all of those expenses, we're paying 100% of.
We're paying the,
Above.
yeah, we're paying the expenses on Tech River, which is our building that we own.
Yeah,
That's
I
correct.
knew that, but I just wanted to make sure before I get up and say something that'd be a lie.
Sure.
I like to tell the truth. And, well, on that particular item, that's good enough.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment on the financials? On the financials?
Okay, just start with a question. Hey, all of the expenses on the Tech River building, which is where, I guess, Continuum Labs and Rapid Systems and Rapid Tech are located, is that correct?
Supposed to be.
That, in the Tech River building,
Yeah.
the pre-co expenses, is that what you're referring to?
The light bill, the landscaping, the insurance, the,
Okay.
every single thing that's paid for that building or anything associated with it. Backup generator expense, all the stuff is being footed by the public, right, on that building?
Yeah.
Even though there are supposed to be 3 companies in there right now. 3 of them.
We own the building, it's our building, so
Three of
yes,
them.
we're paying all the
This has
expenses.
come up,
Every time.
this has come up a lot. When is the free ride gonna be over for these companies?
I don't know that that's a debate during, the actual financials, is when we're clarifying the expenses. I think that debate
Oh,
would
okay, I
be
got you.
more appropriate. We
Okay.
have had discussion of contracts being negotiated for the tenancy of those,
Yeah,
areas.
you're
That
right.
would be more appropriate to
I
discuss
agree
that.
with that. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Any final public comments? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, at this point, we will move into our announcements, other business, public comment. So is there any other business or announcements from board members?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got something.
Can we back up to Mr. Prescott?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the latest update on that?
As of yesterday, construction of RV campsites, which are ongoing, was 95% completed.
Good.
Construction of water plant, which is ongoing, was 95% completed. Construction of public restrooms, excuse me, still ongoing, was 60% completed. Construction of dump station, which is ongoing, was 40% completed. Road improvements for RV site was 90% completed. Construction of office entrance to the camp was 60% completed. The store, there was no comment, and development of master plan was 0% completed. Problems encountered or recommendations: the project's on schedule, no problems encountered except some construction delays due to the rainy season. This was what was sent to me yesterday.
Good.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, we just, it's gonna be a long completion date, it looks like, right?
Kind of hung at 95.
Yeah, sounds that way.
I did have the pleasure of spending some time camping out there over the holidays, and there were a lot of families and a lot of people out camping, and I just happened to be in the, I'm sure, only one site that didn't have water because of the fixtures, but they came out and fixed it very quickly. But, you know, there was some mention of the quality of the spigots they're using at the campsite, so, you know, maybe we can have that looked into. The public restrooms would be, thank you for sitting up here with us while you're here. The public restrooms definitely would need to be completed. I think you said 60% completed, so that would be a big need. So anyway, any other business? Yes, Donald.
Yeah, I forgot to bring this up earlier. I got so much written down here, I missed it. Concerning this Continuum Labs procedure thing, I've been approached. Someone is going around Bowling Green saying that a state audit has already been done on Continuum Labs and that we didn't need to do one. And I'm wondering where this is coming from. Somebody just trying to start trouble, or
That's the
is
first
it?
I've ever heard of it.
Well, that's the first I heard of it too, and I was confronted with this, and I said, well, I think somebody's just telling a lie. And because
Who somebody was?
they won't tell me, and if I do, I would go ask them where they got their
Like an
information
anonymous letter.
and where they. Well, this is human beings that's telling me, Jim.
Donald, who was it that was talking to you?
I'm not going to say that unless I ask them if it's okay.
Oh.
But I was going to try to get a copy of the audit and find out where they got their information. Now, I will talk to these people, and if they say that, yes, you can use their name, I will do that. And if they will tell me who it is, then I'll go ask them, where is a copy of this state audit? So, I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's just somebody trying to start trouble.
I've never heard that.
Well, I was asked about it, so I brought it up. I told them I would, so.
It would probably save us a lot of money if there has been, so.
Well, that's what I was
they could
saying,
produce a
yeah.
copy.
I said the same thing. Well, we don't need to do our audit if the state's just done one.
I can tell you the state has not looked at Continuum from our office's side.
I don't think they have either, Bill.
Travis, has the state visited your office?
Yes, sir.
Excuse
No,
me,
no,
Mr.
I don't believe that it has been. I'm just saying that why would somebody go out there and tell citizens that we don't need to be doing one here because the state just did one?
They consider the Auditor
That's
General
a
probably.
good question.
So anyway.
Any other business or comments from board members? At this time, we'll open for public comment.
I'm gonna recognize.
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Kirkland, yes,
I
thank
jumped
you.
before you said, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
A handout that he wants.
Okay, real quickly, me and Ken fights about 159, 189, 403. There's absolutely not really any difference in them to start with, because it's up to the commissioner to decide whether they think you're malfeasant or not. But if he would read 159, 51, and you would read it, it's a little short paragraph that says 159 does not override any law before it or after it. And 189 is after. I also have a letter from Jack Gaskins telling him 189, 403 is what rules. So, and I think the Auditor General kind of said that too, I believe, but I know I got that letter. So, I couldn't get up here and legally say nothing then. I'm through with that. My thing I want to come here with is, you guys are talking about doing Continuum. There's never been any more of a butcher up putting this county in liability to the public than the backroom dealings between Mr. Lambert and CLA. We've got all the emails to back it up. You got the letter there from Clifford Larson. He said it's not even much as an examination, much less audit. That thing is full of worse things than you read on the cover sheet that the audit came with. And then you got another one there. So here's my little spiel, and I'll get out of your way. On June 13, 2013, Bill Lambert signed an agreement with Clifton Larson Allen, CLA, that jeopardizes public money in one of the biggest gambles imaginable, while knowing the risk and extreme probable chances that one or more of the situations CLA wrote into CLA's safety net agreement could likely materialize. And he listed a lot of them. CLA, while repeatedly, several times a day, over time, and actually it was about 4 months off and on, before Bill would sign that document. They were hounding him. We got the emails. They were hounding him to get that document signed where they could do this.
Mr. Kirkland, can I ask you a quick question? Are you reading from something that you,
I got my comments right there on the front.
Okay, so you're not reading off of something that we have in front of us?
Yeah, you are. You
Okay,
need to look.
which are you reading off of, if
The
you
front
help me out?
page, well.
Oh, your comments in the back.
Yeah, and if you'll leave me alone, I'll get through in a hurry,
I-
and you can ignore it.
I'd like to follow along with you,
Okay.
that's why I'm asking, so
Okay.
please.
Thank you.
And I paused your
I
time.
appreciate that.
I paused your time for my question, so
Thank you.
I just wanted to follow you, so
Okay.
please continue.
Okay, well, I got down, I think, the second paragraph. CLA stands for Clifton Larson Avenue. While repeatedly, several times a day over time, and that's where I said, well, anyway, I'll read it on them. It'll cover it. Time, with pressure type emails, while holding back the report being finished until after numerous attempts by more than one person from CLA. The report is dated March 13, 2013. You can see very well on it. It was signed on June 13. I think that was 4 months, if I added that right. Anyway, before Bill breaks down and signs it. Because he's knowing it could well become a devastating, catastrophic to the county and its public. The outlandish agreement in 3 pages, with a 4th page being attachment A, which had been changed several times in a joint effort by CLA, Bill Lambert, Doug Knight, and a list of others. You'll see them on the emails if you get into that far, which I didn't bring here. And others that are
Final comments, Mr. Kirkland.
Huh?
Final comments, please. Thank you.
Well, you hang on just a second, I'll be through with it. And others are Rapid Systems, in clear effort to eliminate issues, some of the report items originally written of attachment A, the document that was to be followed by CLA. CLA represents as non-qualifying as even an examination, much less an audit. The agreement is jam-packed with unconceivable language, putting IDA, Hardee County, and the public responsible for a large array of very likely legal challenges, emails, and lists. We have no recollection of anything like this signed agreement being brought before you guys.
Mr. Kirkland, we will take your documents that you've provided and review them and appreciate your
Well, you was nice for a second,
comments.
so I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Mr. Coleman?
I think what Frank was trying to say is, on Continuum, I'm going to go quick here on his part. On Rapid Systems and Continuum Labs, there's these letters called engagement letters. I think you're looking at one right there. On Continuum Labs, it clearly states that the IDA is asking Larson Allen to look at certain things. And what they're asking is contract compliance. That's what it says. There's one sentence, contract compliance. Did Continuum Labs comply with the contract? Now, that's a far cry from an audit. And I'm not going to go any further than that because I have other things to talk about. But that is the attempt. That's what Frank's talking about, is they're trying to limit exactly what's going to be looked at. And those deliverables in that contract, there's about 6 of them, they're all fuzzy. And you know that, they're all assist, advise, consult, there's nothing that's gonna come out of this. So, but I am happy to say that I did talk with the young lady here from the accounting firm, and I talked with Mike last time. I actually think that they are gonna go and take a few rocks up there and look underneath. I do think they're gonna track some of that money back. I think they're gonna look at mentors, trainers, coders, timesheets, and look for the kinds of things that they would do in a real audit, to try to ascertain if the money was spent appropriately and if it was spent on this project and not on other companies' expenses. So that's that. I asked an item to be added today to the agenda called 7 questions for the $7 billion man. Did you get that, Sheriff?
I've received that from you multiple times, yes.
Okay, well, those are new ones. These are new questions. So I'm not going to go over those questions today because, and they're good questions. They're the kinds of questions that somebody asked today about revenue, actually, income. They were good questions. What I heard Mr. Bond say today, correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I heard him say. He will not be asking for any more money. I'm happy to tell you that he doesn't want any more money from us. He's gonna get private money. He's using his own money to make this project a success. There's no way he's gonna come back here for more money. The audit that you're doing is just for your purposes, so that we can feel good about it going forward. I don't know why we didn't wait till either beforehand or after the thing was done, but that's fine. He doesn't want any more money.
Final comments, Henry.
He agrees to this procedure we talked about. This CS Plus, his business model we keep hearing about the last 2 times, this call center, he's gonna hire 40 to several hundred people sitting in a tech center answering telephones, calling 500 times a month, asking people, doctors to release medical charts to get them back here to put them in a computer. That's the business model. He doesn't know for sure where the people are going to come from, how to train them. He knows nothing about internet security, how you're going to check these people to make sure that they don't steal this information and sell it. He doesn't know anything about hackers like Target.
Thank you for your comments, Mr.
Could I just have 30 more seconds? I've been waiting all day for this.
No, sir, I'm sorry, you can't.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you. Any other public comment? If not, we will open for a motion to adjourn. Motion and seconded. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Meeting adjourned.